Good afternoon to all the students. Uh, in the previous lecture, we have solved the example of least cost method. Okay, and in the today's lecture, we will solve the problem of transportation by Vogel approximation method. Either you can say that VAM method. So, in the today's lecture, we will see that what are the steps involved to solve the VAM method and a solution of VAM method up to finding the initial basic feasible solution. Okay, so today we will solve the problem of transportation by Vogel's approximation method. This is also called in short VAM method. So here I have written some steps that is will be used that will be used in your solution. So this method is preferred over the two methods because the initial feasible solution obtained is either optimal or very close to the optimal solution. Now what is written here? This method is preferred over the other two methods. And what are other two methods? These are NWCM method and LCM method. That is northwest corner method and least cost method. Least cost method is also called your matrix minima method. Okay. So VAM method is preferred over these two methods. Why? Because the initial basic feasible solution means the total transportation cost is obtained by VAM method is more optimal than the other two methods. Okay, so the solution that we find by the Vogel's method, it is either optimal or very close to optimal. When I was telling you about the transportation problem and method of transportation problem, then I told you that when we will find the optimality, means if we will check the optimality and we find that if our solution is not optimal, then we will apply VAM method to getting the optimal solution rather than the rest of two methods, that is NWCM method and LCM method. Okay. In the examination, you can apply any of the one from these three, either NWCM method or LCM method or VAM method. But you have to prefer the VAM method because this is more superior than that of two. The cost, the total transportation cost is less than the your rest of the two methods, that is NWCM method and LCM method. So what are the steps involved in VAM method? Step 1, compute a penalty for each row and column in the transportation problem. Means you have to compute the penalty. Now, and how you will find this penalty? Okay, so first step is compute a penalty for each row and column in the transportation table. So what you have to do in row, when you will calculate the penalty in row, you will find the two most minimum values or two most least most less transportation cost. Okay, so I am showing the table just like this. Here a table is given here. I am increasing the size of table. This. Let's I apply it on whole sheet. Okay. I am increasing the size inside. That's why you can look better. Now, this is the table here. Here, demand and supply is given here. Okay. So in the first row, that is S1, I'm selecting that row, that is this. Up to here, we have to find the least two value. So what are these two least values? 19 and 10. 19 and 10, these two values are least. Okay. So what we have to do to find the penalty, we will subtract this number. Okay. How? From the greater number, we will subtract the smaller number. So from the least two numbers, that are 19 and 10, so we will subtract 10 from 19. So 19 minus 10, the penalty will be 9. Okay. So in the first step, we will calculate the penalty. Similarly, we will find the penalty for each row. We will calculate the penalty for each row. Just like for S1, for S2, for S3. Okay. We will calculate the penalty. Now, similarly, we have to calculate the penalty from the column also. So in the column D1, so we will again select two least number. So here 19 and 40. 19 and 40 are two least number among the given columns. Okay. Columns element of D1. So we will reduce 19 from 40. So how much will become? 21. So penalty for D1 column will be 21. Similarly, we will find least two number in column D2. So we will reduce this number. Okay. So in 30, here 230. So we will take any one of them. Okay. So we will subtract 8 from 30. So how much will become? 22. Okay. Similarly, column 3, we will reduce least two numbers, that is 40 and 50. So 50 minus 40, how much will become? That is 10, and so on. So we will find the penalty from each row and each column. Okay, by applying this method. So this is your first step, that is compute a penalty for each row and column in the transportation table. So here your transportation problem is given here and you have to calculate the penalty. Similarly, now step 2, identify the row or column with the largest penalty. We have to find the largest penalty among all the rows and columns. Okay. So we will select that row or column and we will allocate the value, and we will allocate the value on that in which the cost is less between the supply and demand. Okay. Between the supply and demand, which will be less, we will allocate that quantity in the minimum cost of that row or column. Again, repeat steps 1 and 2 for reduced table until entire supply at plants are exhausted to satisfy the demand as different warehouses. Means after allocating, if row or column either means supply or demand is exhausted, so we will again repeat this process until unless our supply and demand is not satisfied. Okay. So up to satisfaction or exhausting, we will repeat this process. So how we have to solve this? Let us see here. We have a transportation table, or we can say that we have a transportation problem. So we have to find solution using Vogel's approximation method. So here 4 warehouses are given, that is, or you can say that 4 destinations point are given here, or you can say that there are 4 markets. Okay, that is D1, D2, D3, D4, and we have 3 plants or 3 factories or 3 sources from where we have to supply our product, that is S1, S2 and S3. Okay, so we have to send our product from S1, S2 and S3 to D1, D2, D3 and D4, and the capacity of plant S1 is 7 units. Okay, so it means the plant S1 can supply 7 units and plant S2 can supply maximum 9 units. Plant S3 can supply 18 units. Okay, so these are the supply limit of the plant S1, S2 and S3. And what about the demand? The demand for D1 is 5 units. The requirement of D1 is 5 units. And the requirement, or you can say the demand for D2 is 8 units. Okay. Now, demand for D3 is 7 units. And demand for D4 is 14 units. Okay. So, in the previous example, we have seen that either demand and supply is equal or not. So here we will also check that either demand or supply is equal or not. So let us calculate the demand and supply. Here we will add this. So how much will become? Auto sum 34. Okay. Sum of all the supplies, that is S, 9 and 18 is 34. Now I am deleting this. Again we will calculate the demand 5, 8, 7 and 14, and we will again sum all these requirements. So that is also 41. So supply and demand are equal. It means this is our balanced problem. This is our balanced transportation problem. Now, further, what we have to do? We will go through the step first. That is, this method compute a penalty for each row and column in the transportation table. Okay. So this is the solution. Here, total number of supply constants are 3. Okay. S1, S2 and S3. These are supply constants. Now, total number of demand constants are 4. Okay, total number of demands constants are 4, that is D1, D2, D3 and D4. Okay, now we have to find the penalty first. Okay, according to the step first, we have to find the penalty. So first we will get the row penalty. Row penalty, here table is given here 19, 30, 50 and 10. Okay, these are the per unit transportation cost, and we have to find penalty from these per unit transportation cost. So okay, we are checking here 19, 30, 50, 10. We will select top least two quantities, that is here 19 and 10. Okay, so we will subtract from 19 minus 10. So how much will become? 19 minus 10, that is 9. So I will write down here 9. Okay, I will write down here 9. See in the image, row penalty 9 equal to 19 minus 10. Similarly, in the second row, we will again find two least quantities, that are 30 and 40. So in 30 and 40, we will reduce 40 minus 30. So how much will become? That is 10. Okay. This is the penalty for row 2. and this is just the first one. The S1 9 is penalty for row 1. Again, we calculate the penalty for row 3. So we will select the least two quantities. So here 20 and 8, these are two least quantities. So we will subtract 8 from the 20. So 20 minus 20 minus 8. So how much will become? 12. So these are our row penalty. Row penalties are for row 1 9, for row 2 10, for row 3 12. Similarly, we have to find the column penalty. We can say that this is P1. Okay, P1 means penalty for first time. Similarly, again here for P1. Okay. We have to again select the least two quantity now in column wise. So 19 and 40 are two least quantity in this column. So we will reduce 19 from the 40. We will reduce 19 from the 40. So how much will become? 21. So 40 minus 19. So how much will become? 21. I am telling first time. From the next step, I will directly write down the penalty. Now second here, in this column, two least quantities are 30 and 8. So we will reduce 8 from 30. So 30 minus 8, how much will become? 22. Okay. Now in the column 3, which are two least quantities, that are 50 and 40. So we will reduce 40 from 50. So 50 minus 40, how much will become? 10. Again, in the last column, that is D4, 10 and 20, these two are least. So we will reduce 10 from 20. So 20 minus 10, how much will become? 10. Okay. So this is your column penalty. You have find the row penalty and column penalty. Okay. So here in the figure, row penalty and column penalty is given. Now we have to select the maximum penalty between row penalty and column penalty. Okay, so this 22 means 22, this is the maximum penalty which occurred in column D2. Okay, in column D2, maximum penalty is 22. The maximum penalty 22 occurs in column D2. So, and the minimum cost, the minimum transportation per unit cost in this column is 8, which exists in S3D2. Means this is your S3D2. I am writing down here this. This 8 is minimum cost in the maximum penalty column. Okay. So in this cell, we will allocate the demand and supply. Minimum of demand and supply. Okay. So let us check which one is minimum. Now I am selecting this and this also. So supply for plant S3 in this column is 18. Means the supply is 18, and for the column D2 means destination D2 required 8 units. Destination 8 requires 8 units. This is your demand. Means Requirement of D2 is 8 units. So we will allocate this 8 units to the this cell, to this cell. Okay, so I am inserting a circle in which I will allocate this unit. We have to write 8. Okay, I have allocated 8 in the address cell, that is S3D2. I am increasing the size. This. Okay. I have allocated 8 units to the address cell according to the table S3D2. Now, the demand of column D2 has exhausted now. The demand of column D2 has exhausted now. Okay. So what we have to do, we will draw a vertical line from column D2. Okay. I am drawing a vertical line from column D2. Now, no need to calculate the penalty for column D2 now. In the next step, there is no need to calculate the penalty for column D2 because the requirement of column D2 is exhausted now. Okay. So, we draw a vertical line. We have drawn a vertical line from column D2. Now, the plant S3 has 18 units and he has supplied 8 units to the D2. So now how many units are left with plant S3? How many units are left with plant S3? So you will subtract 8 units from 18. So how much unit will become? That is 10 units. So 10 units are left with now plant S3. So I am crossing this 18 and now I am writing 10 units here. Okay. Now the supply of S3 plant is 10 units. Why? Because he has given 8 units to the destination, or you can say to the dealer D2. Okay. Now after this, again we will calculate the penalty for remaining rows and columns. Remember, now there is no need to calculate the penalty for column D2 because this is already exhausted, means the demand of warehouse D2 has been fulfilled. Okay. So let's calculate the penalty for next. Here you are looking that we have calculated penalty for row and column, and the minimum Cij means the minimum cost is 8. So we will allocate the unit as per the requirement. So listen, in your screen, I have allocated 8 units with color A, red. I have used red color to allocate these units. Okay, you are looking in your screen. Now, again, we have to find the penalty P2. Okay, so let's check. Here, again, we will find least two quantities. Least two quantities. What are these? 19 and 10. 19 and 10 are two least quantities. So we will subtract 10 from 19. We will again subtract 10 from 19. So this is our P2, and how much will become? That is 9. And in for row 2, that is for this row, what are these? What are the two least quantities? That is 40 and 60. These 40 and 60. So we will subtract it. Okay. So we will subtract 40 from 60. So how much will come? That is 20. And for row 3, what are the two least number? So here 40 and 20. 40 and 20 are two least number. So we will subtract 20 from 40. So how much will become? This is 20. Okay. So we have got the penalty for all the three rows. Now, similarly, again we have to find the penalty for columns. Okay. So here, what is the maximum least two numbers? 19 and 40. So we will again subtract 19 from 40. So how much will become? That is 21. Now in the column D2, since the demand of D2 column has been exhausted now, so there is no need to find the penalty for this column. So I have made a dash dash, okay, in this is not so. Let's I draw something else. I am drawing a line. Okay, so I am drawing a line like this. I have drawn a line in column D2 because we don't need to calculate the penalty for D2 since the demand for column D2 has been exhausted now. Now in this column, we will again find the two least quantities or two least per unit transportation cost. There are 40 and 50. So we will subtract 40 from 50. So how much will become? 10. Again, in the column D4, again we will subtract least two quantities, that is 20 minus 10, so 10. Okay. We have got the penalties, second penalty for row and column. Now again we will select the maximum penalty between row and column. So in the row penalty, this is 9, 20, 20, and for column penalty 21 dash 10, 10. So here 21 is the maximum penalty between the row and column penalties. Okay. So what we have to do, we will allocate, we will select this column. Okay, that is column D1 and 9. And now we have to select the minimum transportation per unit cost. We will select minimum per unit transportation cost in this column. So here 19, 70 and 40, these are per unit transportation cost. So 19 is minimum. Okay, so we will allocate in cell S1 and D1. Means we will allocate to per unit transportation, that is in 19. So how much unit can we allocate in this cell? So for this cell, the supply is 7. Plant S1 can supply 7 units. And for the demand is for the destination D1 is 5. So between 7 and 5 means minimum between supply and demand, which is 5. So we will allocate 5 units to the cell which have 19 units per unit transportation cost. So I am allocating this unit here. Okay. How much unit? 5. So I will write 5 here. Yes. Okay. Now the demand for destination D1 is exhausted now. Why? Because the all the unit of all the requirement of D1 has been fulfilled now. So we will draw a vertical line from column D1. We will draw a vertical line from column D1. I have drawn a vertical line. Okay. Now, in the next step, since the demand of D1 has been exhausted now, so therefore no need to calculate the penalty for column D1. In the next time, there is no need to calculate the penalty for column D1. Okay. And how many units are left with supply from plant S1? So you have given 5 units from the 7 units. So how many units are left? That is 2 units. So you will write down here 2. Okay. So I will cross the 7 and I will write down 2, because now plant S1 has only 2 units. Okay. Again, we will find the penalties for row and column. So we are finding the P3. P3. Let us in this screen. Here I have allocated 5 units to S1 D1 cell. Why? Because the maximum penalty was in this column occurred. Okay. So I have allocated 5 units this. So you are looking here, the maximum penalty. Okay. Now again, in the next step, we will again find the maximum penalty. So what is maximum penalty? Here, now we don't need to calculate the penalty for column D1 and D2. We will calculate only for D3 and D4. So here only two least values are 50 and 10. So we will reduce 10 from 50. So 50 minus 10, how much will become? That is 40. Okay. In the next row, these two quantities are 40 and 60. So we will reduce 40 from 60. So how much will become? 20. And in the third row, left quantities are which are least, that is 70 and 20. So we will subtract 20 from 70. So how much will become? 50. Okay. So this is row penalty for third. Okay. Again, we will calculate the column penalty. So we will write down P3. Here, no need to calculate the penalty for destination D1. So we will draw a dash here. So I have drawn a dash. Okay. Again, also no need to calculate the penalty for column D2 also. So here I will also draw a line. Okay. This I have drawn a line in this column also. Now in the column 3, again we will find two least quantities. So here two least quantities are 50 and 40. 50 and 40. So we, to find the penalty for D3, we will reduce 40 from 50. So how much will become? It will become 10. And for column D4, the penalty will be 10. Why? Because the two least quantities are 20 and 10. So we will reduce 10 from 20. So it will become 10. Now, again, we have to select the maximum penalty from the row penalty and column penalty. So in the row penalties are 40, 20, and 50. And column penalties are 10 and 10. So 50 is the maximum penalty among the row and column penalties. So we will select this row. Okay. We will select this row, that is S3. S3 will be selected for the allocation. Okay. So which have the minimum per unit transportation cost in row S3. So we have already crossed D1 and D2. We have only these two quantities in which we have to allocate. And the least quantity from these two is 20. Okay. So 20 is less than 70. So we will allocate the unit in this cell. So how much unit can we allocate? Which is minimum between supply and demand. So S3 can supply 10 units. S3 can supply 10 units, but the requirement of D4 is 14 units. The requirement of D4 is 14 units, but S3 can supply only 10 units. So minimum is 10. So we will allocate 10 to the S3D4. Okay. I am selecting this and I have allocated 10 units to this cell. This. Now I will write down here 10. Okay. So since the supply of plant S3 has been exhausted now, okay, so what we will do, we will cross the S3 row. We will cross the S3 row by drawing a horizontal line. In the column D1 and D2, we have drawn vertical line, but now since the supply is exhausted, so we will draw a vertical line. I am drawing a vertical line. This, I have drawn a horizontal line from S3. Okay. Now, since the requirement of D4 was 14 units and it has got only 10 units. So how many units are still left for D4? That is 4. That's why 14 minus 10. So I can write here, I will write here 4. So this is the requirement of D4. Okay. Now, again, we will find the penalty. So in the row penalty, find the P4. P4. Okay. So which are two least quantities, that is 50 minus 10. So we will subtract 10 from 50. So how much will become 40? Okay. Again, least two quantities here are 40 and 60. So we will reduce 40 from 60. So how much will become 20? Now, in S3, since the supply of plant S3 has been exhausted now, so there is no need to calculate the penalty for S3. Okay, so I have drawn a dash here. I have drawn a dash here. Okay. Now, again, we will find the penalties for column. So since column D1 has exhausted, so control C and control V. I have drawn a dash in column D1. The requirement of column D2 is also exhausted. So I will also draw a dash in the column D2. I have drawn. Now, here, the penalty for column D3. We have two least quantities that are 50 and 40. 50 and 40. So we will reduce 40 from 50. So how much will become? 10. Okay. This is penalty for column D3. Again, column for penalty D4. So what which are these two least quantities, that is 60 and 10. So we will reduce 10 from 60. So how much will become? 50. Now again we will select the maximum penalty from the row penalty and column penalty. So row penalties are 40 and 20 and column penalties are 10 and 50. Okay. So among all these penalties, which one is maximum? So this 50 is maximum. So we will select this column. 50 has maximum penalty in column D4. So now we will select the minimum transportation per unit cost in column D4. So that is 10. Okay, 10 is minimum per unit transportation cost. So we will allocate the quantities which is minimum between supply and demand. Okay, so what is the supply for S1? He can supply only 2 units. Okay, but the demand of D4 is 4 units, but we can allocate him only 2 units. So I am allocating 2 units to D4 from S1. I am writing down here 2 units. Now, since the S1 has given all the units to D4, so the supply of S1 is exhausted now. What we will do? We will again draw a horizontal line from S1. Okay, I have drawn a horizontal line from S1. Now, how many units are left with D4? The requirement of D4 is still remaining. So how much units are required? That is 2. So I will write down here 2. Okay. Now, only 2 units are required for D4. Okay. And supply S2 has 9 units. So again, we will find the penalties, that is P5. In the first row, that is S1, there is no need to calculate the penalty because the supply of plant S1 has been exhausted now. So I will draw a dash here. Okay, I have drawn a dash here, this. Again, in the row second, the least two quantities are 40 and 60. Okay, so we will reduce 40 from 60. So how much will become? 60 minus 40, that is 20. We will write down here. And no need to calculate the penalty for S3 because the supply has been already exhausted. So we will draw a dash in the P5 for row S3. I have drawn a dash here. Okay, this. Now, again, we will find the column penalty. So there is no need to find the column penalty in D1. So we will draw a dash here. And also, there is no need to find the penalty for column D2 because this has been also exhausted. So we have drawn a dash here. Now, the column D3 has only one element, that is 40. So this is the only term which have left. So this penalty for this column will be 40. Again, the column D4 has 60. Only the column D4 has 60. So penalty for column D4 is 60. Okay. So the row penalties are 20 and the column penalties are 40 and 60. So among all these penalties, which one is maximum? That is 60. So we will select the column D4 which has maximum penalty and allocate the units which is minimum between the supply and demand. So demand of the D4 is 2 units. Demand of D4 is 2 units. And from here he will get it from plant S2. So I will allocate 2 units from S2 to D4. I have allocated this. Okay. Now the demand of D4 has been exhausted now. So we will draw a vertical line. We will draw a vertical line from column D4. So I have drawn this vertical line. Okay. Now, how many units are left with plant S2? Since the plant S2 has given 2 units to the D4, so the units left with plant S2 is 7. Okay, so we will write down here 7. Again, we will find the penalties. Again, we will find the penalties. So P6. Since the factory S1 supply of factory S1 has been exhausted, so there is no need to calculate the penalty for S1. We will draw a dash here. So I have drawn a dash. Now, the penalty for S2 here was only one quantity is left, that is 40. So we will write down here 40. Okay, there is no need to calculate the penalty for factory S3. So we will draw a dash here. I have drawn a dash here in the factory S3. Okay. Again, for the column penalty, only one is left, that is 40. So we will write down here 40. This is P4, P5, and this is P6. Okay. This is the penalty. Only one is left, P6. So P6 is the maximum penalty between the row penalty and column penalty. And this has 40. So we will allocate the quantities between the minimum quantities between the supply and demand. So how much quantities are required for D3? That is 7. Okay, 7 quantities are required for D3, and from here he will get from the S1, S2, and S2 has how many quantities? That is 7. So all the 7 units will be supplied from S2 to D3. So I am allocating this unit to the D3. Okay. So all the supply and demand has been exhausted now. Since the requirement of D3 has been fulfilled now, so we will also cross it. So I'm crossing it by drawing a vertical line. Okay, I have drawn a vertical line, and the supply of S2 is also exhausted. So we will draw a horizontal line from S2. I have drawn a line from S2. Now, look, how many allocations are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There are 6 allocations. Now we have to find the initial feasible solution. So how we will get it? We will multiply the per unit transportation cost with the unit supplied, okay, or the unit allocated to the cells. So in the first, the plant D1 has got 5 units from plant S1. Dealer D1 has got 5 units from plant S1 at the rate of rupees 19 per unit. Okay, so we will multiply 19 into 5. 19 into 5. Okay, again, plus we have to calculate the total transportation cost. So we will add all the transportation cost. In the next, what is the allocation? That is 2 units. 2 units from S1 to D4 at the rate of rupees 10 per unit. So we will multiply 10 into 2. 10 into 2 plus, again, plant S2 supplied 7 units for dealer D3. Okay, plant S2 supplies for D3 7 units at the rate of 40 rupees per unit. So we will multiply 40 into 7. 40 into 7 plus again plant S2 has supplied 2 units to D4 at the rate of 60 per unit. Okay, plant S2 has supplied 2 units to D4 at the rate of rupees 60 per unit. So we will multiply 60 into 2. 60 into 2 plus plant S3 has supplied 8 units to D2 at the rate of rupees 8 per unit. So we will multiply 8 into 8. So 8 into 8 plus plant S3 has supplies 10 units for to D4 at the rate of rupees 20 per unit. So we will add 10 into 20. 20 into 10. So this is the total transportation cost. So let's multiply all these quantity, and after multiplying we will sum up all these quantities. So 19 into 5, 95 plus 10 into 2, 20 plus 40 into 7, that is 280 plus 60 into 2, 120 plus 8 into 8, 64 plus 20 into 10, that is 200. Okay, so this is the transportation cost. So we will add all these quantity. So how much will become? I am adding here 95 plus 20 plus 280 plus 120 plus 64 plus 200. Okay, let's do auto sum. So how much will become? 779. Okay, so total transportation cost is 779. This is your initial feasible solution of the VAM method. Okay, this is called your initial feasible solution, and this cost is more less than the another two method, that is NWCM and LCM. If you will solve this example by rest of the two method, either all NWCR or LCM, so the cost will be more than this amount, that is 779. So that's why the VAM method is more appropriate rather than the your rest of the two methods. Okay, so I think all of you have got it. If someone has any query, so you can ask now.